I'm 0 for 2 finishing through hikes. I completed 720 miles out of 800 on the Arizona Trail last year, and 175 out of 220 miles on the Washita Trail earlier this year. Both trails were amazing experiences that proved to be big challenges in their own ways, but part of me was frustrated that I couldn't finish either. The long trail in Vermont would be my next through-hiking undertaking. The LT made perfect sense to me, as I'd be in that region of the country anyway. My cousin was getting married on June 28th, so I had 24 days to hike 273 miles from the Massachusetts-Vermont border all the way to Canada. I spent a couple days at my parents' place in Virginia outfitting, packing, unpacking, and repacking for the trek before I drove up to North Adams, Massachusetts, near the southern terminus. It was a hot first day in the mid-80s in North Adams. There are about 4 miles of approach trail to get to the true Vermont border where the long trail officially begins. I met a couple brothers in the parking lot starting off on their respective journeys, one on the LT and one finishing up on the Appalachian Trail. The long trail follows the AT for about 100 miles before the AT splits off northeast to New Hampshire and Maine, while the LT heads due north to Canada. Workers started building the Long Trail in 1910, and the AT was actually inspired by the Long Trail. I personally couldn't be more excited to get back on the trail. I had just guided a couple week-long backpacking trips around Pisgah National Forest and Shenandoah National Park, and I was yearning for a solo trip. This trip would feel different as I had a set date to end by. I wasn't exactly sure or ready for what I was about to encounter out on the Long Trail. It's technically the end of mud season up in the Green Mountains, but several more challenges would present themselves along the way. It took a couple hours till mid-morning to make it the 4 miles to the border. It definitely was starting to be real. At the time, I didn't even realize that the Green Mountains comes from the name of the actual state, Vermont. Vermont comes from the French term Vermont, which means green mountain. Much of the trail was a thick mix of softwood and hardwood forest, including lots of pine, balsam fir, spruce, beech, maple, and birch trees. It seemed like a thick, healthy forest, and it was always a pleasant surprise to find a break in the foliage for a nice view. I took lunch at the side of a forest road. It was perfect timing for a break from some of the bugs in the thick forest. I caught the first pretty sweet view at some power lines. My next goal would be to make it to Seth Warner shelter for an afternoon break. The shelters turned out to be a game changer, similar to when I was out on the Washita Trail. A reprieve from the bugs and the sun, and amenities like bear boxes, privies, tent pads, and places to hang wet gear would come in clutch. I was impressed by some of the fine beaver architecture of the Green Mountains. Huge signs of beavers from large dams, beaver ponds, and chewed up trees would be everywhere. I hiked 13.7 miles that day and camped near a stream just south of Congdon Shelter. 3,500 feet of elevation gain on the first day was not very easy. It's always such a great feeling getting into camp for the night, and I unpacked and set up at what was a great spot. I can't really quite get my water filter to work well. This took like half an hour to fill, 1.5 liters. So I don't know if it's broken or clogged or just overused, but it's really not flowing. And I have a new system and I haven't really gotten it to work yet, so I don't know where the problem is, but might have to get a new filter or new system at the first stop. We'll see. It's not looking the best. It was a solid first day though. Hiked like 13.5, 14 miles today. It was a good first day. I'm happy to be back on trail already. And it is a little bit buggy, but it's not too bad at all. Well, looks like it's not filtering water. All in all, it was a successful first day out there. At this moment, part of me was still nervous I wouldn't be able to finish the entire trail, but I knew I would enjoy the 3 weeks out in the wilderness no matter what.